Hello guys and welcome to the second episode of Game Linked Game News, and today we'll be talking about some very interesting stuff. Steven is here as well today as my co-host.
Hey yo, what's up guys?
So yeah, our topics today will be Shadow of a Tomb Raider benchmarks and gameplay. Then we'll go to Just Cause 4. Gameplay impressions. Then we'll talk about Blizzard, who was cracking down on third-party apps in Overwatch. We'll talk about Rainbow Six Siege, which will have a movie coming out soon. NVIDIA will have its RTX launch delayed for several cards, and Twitch is now blocked in China. Interesting topics. So yeah, Steven?
Yeah. Okay.
Let's get right into it. Yeah. So this should load automatically if everything worked out.
Yeah. Perfect.
So yeah, this is
so
pretty much the gameplay.
Gameplay of the new Shadow of the Tomb Raider. And yeah, after the gameplay, we'll also get into benchmarks and statistics of the game.
We have some official graphs for you guys. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm not quite sure what like the new theme is. I just kind of have the impression it doesn't quite resemble the Lara Croft, who's played by I forgot the actor's name, but there's like a completely new Lara Croft in the movie series. But I think this is going to be definitely what we can see here in the trailer. So it's going to be definitely action-packed and very interesting to look at and to play with. But the thing is with it in general is that you won't be able to play with RTX, so ray tracing. And that will only be available later in an update, which they will be releasing for this game. So you won't right away be able to play with ray tracing unless there's going to be some kind of update coming sometime. Which is...
Like, I've seen the gameplay before, and what I like about the game is like the setting. Like, it's all like resembles dark and like just the mood that this game has, kinda, while you play it. It kind of makes it cool. I don't know. That's my opinion.
The dark theme. I mean, I kind of have the impression a lot of the Tomb Raider franchise, it kind of resembles kind of the Indiana Jones vibe. I'm not sure if I can just like say that, but Tomb Raider is pretty much the female version of Indiana Jones in my opinion. Debatable, but my opinion. And so yeah, basically, as you can see, she actually has to get her leg out. I think this is actually the console version of the gameplay.
Yeah, PS4.
Since I was able to see. No, actually, I don't think, is it PS4 because there's an X there. So I thought it was the Xbox.
Really?
Yeah, that was a blue X.
Like just an X is also on PS4.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
What like makes like if there's a square, you instantly know it's PS4. But an X is also No, hold on, no. X is A on Xbox. Sorry, I got confused.
Yeah. So I think what we can do at this point, I mean, this game link probably won't be that long because the topics that we'll be talking about aren't that extensive, so you won't really be getting that crazy long of an episode as last time. So what I thought, we can just talk about the benchmarks, which were done with the new graphics cards as well, because Tomb Raider was obviously one of the most kind of hyped games that came with NVIDIA. So with the NVIDIA RTX series, they're kind of hyping it up with Tomb Raider and Battlefield 5, which we talked about in the last Game Linked episode. So I think it would make sense to look at benchmarks at this point. So I'm gonna just get there now.
Yeah, skip the slide.
Yeah. So we have. Yeah, Steven, you can explain what you can see here on this kind of table.
What we have here is a screenshot of the LTT test benchmark, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. We can see that's all in the highest presets with the graphics card. So yeah, on the top, as we can see, the new RTX 2080 Ti with the overall most points, 58 frames per second, and yeah, higher is better. So if the number is lower, you have worse results, as you can see. So yeah, I mean, what do you think about those stats?
I find them pretty interesting for Tomb Raider. Obviously, they'll probably have to do their complete like stats. They like LTT and all the other outlets. They'll have to redo these benchmarks because since RTX isn't out yet, they can compare RTX off and on, but they don't quite have the kind of final verdict on the cards. Because obviously this technology is just not embedded, and a lot of people have been really annoyed about this. So they were kind of claiming, or not claiming, but they were saying that RTX was kind of only performing with like 30 FPS with ray tracing, or 60 FPS I think straight, and it wouldn't really be able to get any much or a little bit above that. And so people were kind of pushing down on that hype because, to be honest, it's more of a gimmick. I personally won't buy RTX because of ray tracing. I'll actually buy it because I want to have a better graphics card than I have now. So and it's the newest model, which that way I kind of can ensure that I've got the newest thing that will last the longest. That's the only reason for me to buy it.
Yeah, this is 4K as well, right?
Yes.
So this is played at 4K resolution.
The thing is, I don't know if you actually know that, Steven, but with RTX, the difference is that with 4K, the amount of frames that you get additionally compared to older graphics cards is a lot bigger. Like the difference is bigger if you use 4K. If you use 1080p, the difference is only about like 5 or 8 FPS. It's not that extremely big compared to 4K. It still depends on the game. I mean, if you would run CS:GO, you would probably have like, instead of 200 FPS, you would have 300 FPS with the 2080 Ti. But the increase isn't as great as some people expected, because they were talking about having 50%. They wanted to have 50% increase in performance, but I think that's just not possible, and that's why the increase isn't that great.
Yeah, that's true. 30%.
What do you actually think about like the Ryzen results and the Intel results? Do you have like any special opinion on that, or?
I mean, it's like the difference is not
minimal.
Really that great.
Minimal, yeah.
It's like really minimal. So as you can see, like 58 on the 2080 Ti with the average, 1080 Ti 43. I mean, doesn't really make a difference. The only difference you can see is like on the 97th percentile.
Yeah.
You can see like quite a difference, but I mean it's really minimal. So I don't know if that's even like worth being talked about.
Yeah, what I think is just interesting to look at is how much RX Vega is crippled compared to these graphics cards. Because AMD was kind of trying to get back into this like graphics cards race, and it's not into the GPU game. Yeah, exactly. But I don't think they'll. To be honest, I can't really see that they will do this in the foreseeable future. Maybe once Intel has released their own graphics card, we'll might be able to see some more more of a competitive environment for, how is it called, for in the graphics card market. So I think that's an interesting thing to look at. But as you can see, obviously the CPUs don't make a difference, but the graphics cards are enormously apart.
Yeah. And if we can summarize, what do you like personally think about the game? Would you get it, and would you play personally?
That's a very good question. I'm actually not sure if I will get it, and I always say that. I already said that last week with Battlefield 5. But I'm kind of a precautious person when it comes to buying games. but I think it looks very cool. So I would definitely give it a shot. And if I could just like play, kind of, maybe I'll play a pirated version of it, and if I like it, I'll actually buy it.
Yeah, brings that support.
You know, the funny thing is, in a lot of these like README files, there's actually like a statement by the people who cracked it, and it says,
"Oh like, yeah, like if you like the game, you should support the
yeah, buy
developers and buy it the game." Actually, yeah.
So that's kind of what I would go for at this point. Yeah. But I think it's a very nice game. I think it gets it gets us closer to what is supposed to be, like graphics where they are supposed to be, and kind of real time scenarios, kind of real time or real life even graphics. We're getting closer and closer to actually simulating things that aren't actually there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if I like talk about the game, I personally, I don't know, I wouldn't get it. Only if it's like, oh my god, it will like blow my mind and I need to get it. But I was never into the Tomb Raider series, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I personally like don't have like the motivation to buy the game and actually play it.
To be honest, I think it kind of reminds me of Far Cry, because like at least the climbing stuff is kind of similar to me in Far Cry, and I've also played Far Cry 5, and I think it's a pretty cool game, and from all the like the climbing stuff, but I think that's a very small like detail in the game. It's kind of similar, but yeah, I think this is more directed towards like this adventure kind of mission style game. So I don't think you have multiplayer in these types of games.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I'm not like personally, I'm not like the single player guy. I mostly play multiplayer, so.
Yeah, I'm also pretty similar with that. I don't usually play single player games.
Yeah, like single player, I only play single player games if like the game really like has a deep story and like, I don't know, the gameplay is just amazing or something like this. But yeah, I think that was pretty much it, right?
Yeah, we could.
To say?
No, I think we can move on. I can look at the time when it says like how long we're live, and I think it's time to move on to our Just Cause 4 topic.
Right.
So yeah, we've got 20 minutes of live gameplay, and I think this was at like a developer conference, I'm not quite sure, when Just Cause 4 was presented to us. Steven, do you know anything about the release date? Because I don't want to open the article right now, so maybe you can do that.
Yeah, let me just look that up.
I think it looks pretty nice. My problem is kind of that I don't see like a marginal, like, or a bigger increase in design. I mean, the graphics they don't look a lot different compared to the old 3, which I think Just Cause 3, if you've got a really good graphics card, it's an awesome game. I really enjoy playing it. I'm not sure how multiplayer works with that. I haven't even tried that so far. If that's the thing with Just Cause 3, I think you need a mod.
Multiplayer?
Yes, I'm not even sure about how that works with Just Cause 3.
Just Cause 3 has a multiplayer mod.
Yeah, a mod.
So basically, it's a DLC that you can get on Steam.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it costs anything, but like I think it's free or something, and it's like a DLC. And if you download that one, you can actually play multiplayer.
Oh, okay. So you have to buy a deal. Is it to buy or is it for free with in Steam? So you can just get the DLC just like that.
It's for free, but it was like an open source like community project.
Yeah,
so it wasn't from the studio itself.
I think what I've heard is that the fourth Just Cause, I think they're gonna have that implemented in the game already, so you won't actually have to deal with trouble like that. There's actually drops. I can just see that in the video right now. There's just a container dropping out of the sky.
Yeah, I just saw it as well.
That's pretty cool. Wow. Yeah. Did you see that? There's just a jet that kind of jumps out of the container. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Me personally, like my experience on the Just Cause like scene, I really like Just Cause 2. That was like my main Just Cause. Like that's when I got into the game, and I think I have like 250 hours on it or something.
God, that's a lot.
With
Yeah.
like, a friend came over and we always played Just Cause just for fun and stuff. It was like really funny back in the day.
I mean, I get it. It's a really good game, and
Yeah, I just like the open world aspect of the game and just like the possibilities you have. I mean, it's a alternative to GTA at this point.
yeah. But you know what? I kind of think that Just Cause is generally it does a lot better at explosive, like kind of explosive scenes where you blow up stuff. I mean, Just Cause is kind of more. I think it's almost more badass than GTA. Because you can do so many crazy things. Also with your like grappling hook that you have, you can do really stupid things. I mean, people were hyping that thing last time with Just Cause 3 when they got that wind turbine and they hooked a cow to a wind turbine, and that was like going round and round, and the cow is just like flying around the whole thing. I think that's a really cool thing that you can have in Just Cause. What I'm kind of interested in the future, and I think we can report that as well in future Game Linked episodes, is who's actually going to be like the enemy or the villain in the new Just Cause 4. I'm interested in what, like, because the last one, I don't know, he was kind of a weird guy, and I'm not sure if he's like, if he's returning or if we're having a new villain, or I don't know. I didn't even finish Just Cause 3, so I can't even say if he's dead or not. If we finished him.
That's a good question actually. I don't know as well. What I can say now though is the release date is on the 4th of December.
Yeah.
2018. So coming up pretty soon, I would say.
Yeah, that's very soon. I'll probably get that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll like every game I won't pre-order, but I'll watch some gameplay and some let's plays, and then I might consider getting it as well.
But I think if there's like one good let's play of it or gameplay, I think you would probably get it, wouldn't you?
Probably, because I was just like so hyped for Just Cause 3 and 2. Like, I really like those games. Yeah. So I have like overall in the series I have a pretty good feeling about it. I don't know.
Okay, that's cool. Because yeah, I'm also pretty hyped because I bought Just Cause 3 when it was really cheap and on Steam.
Yeah.
And I just got it that way, and I was just like, okay, well, what's the hype about? And when I played the game, I just felt like it was a pretty cool game, because even if you don't play with friends, it's still pretty cool because this is like an open world thing, and you can still select what missions you want to do or whatever you want to do. I mean, you can still go crazy with a chopper and just blow up the whole kind of bases, which I usually do. I would just come in a chopper and just machine gun it down. And I think that's a pretty cool feature of the Just Cause franchise. I think these new kind of I don't know how you call it. Is it like environments that we're kind of having here? Because as you can see in this video, there's like desert scenes. And we didn't really have that in Just Cause 3. We kind of had these like mountains, but it was more in like not like this, not as much tropical. I mean, I'm not very good in kind of saying these things, but
yeah, I know what you mean. Like different, how do you call it, biomes? No.
Yeah, this is like yeah, exactly. That's why I was going for a biome. This is like more of a desert biome, and the other one was like more maybe tropical. In that kind of sense, or maybe I don't even know, like different biome names. What I found kind of interesting, just as like a kind of thing, there wasn't that many people actually watching this like conference, which I don't know if that's a good thing, but there weren't that many people being that interested. I mean, or they just didn't show that many people being in this kind of. This place looks like a cinema where they just displayed this game.
Yeah, I mean,
so I think the hype isn't that crazy for it.
Yeah, like Just Cause is that series, like it's been there for several years, and I feel like, I don't know, it's just like it's not that game that you're completely hyped about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's cool that it comes out, and like if it's good, you're going to like play for hours, but it's not like that game that you're like completely hyped about. Oh, I want like this new part right now.
Yeah. So I still hope that they are gonna get some like good sales. because their franchise is pretty nice, and I think it works out. Because it's the only thing that I can also see right now. I found these upgrades kind of weird that you can make. I always got confused about them in Just Cause 3 because I kind of thought they were hidden, and like for finding them, I don't know what like you have for an experience. You probably can say a lot more about kind of these upgrade things than I can. I don't really get along too well with that kind of system because I think it's really cool that you can get your custom guns and stuff, and like not really custom guns, but you can get like different types of guns which you can pick up and just carry around with yourself. But I don't really know about the upgrade kind of stuff that you can do with Just Cause, so maybe you can elaborate a bit on that.
Yeah, the thing is, like, I personally think you have more experience with Just Cause 3 than I do, and in
Oh,
Just Cause
with
2,
2?
I really didn't notice
with
these
2
mods.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, I don't know, like, what kind of problem do you have with these? Like, you just
I
find them
don't
confusing, or?
I don't know. I just think they're kind of they're out of the blue. Like, I mean, they're hidden in a menu, and you would kind of have to look for them. And I don't recall having them kind of being unlocked for me when I played. So they were just like randomly there. And they were introduced to me at the beginning of the game when like this woman kind of gave me the new grappling hook. And it wasn't really that interesting to me, that part. I was more interested in actually getting really cool guns or vehicles instead of just going for the upgrades and looking for them somewhere in the menu, which I...
Yeah, I mean, the upgrades are just like, you know, they're different ones. I mean, you have like more explosives and stuff. You have like, just in general, you can upgrade a lot of stuff. It's not really necessary, but you know.
Yeah.
You can
I actually have to point
possibilities.
I actually have to point out, like, previously, I think we saw some like bit of like how the explosives look like. I think that looked really cool. In the previous kind of bit where they were showing what, like, when he blew up like a bunch of cars and I don't know what.
Oh yeah, with the gas tanks and stuff.
Oh, I think there's actually a new catapult. Did you see that? Like they parked the car on a catapult and he just blew it away with like a catapult, or they made a catapult out of this kind of weird.
Yeah, I just saw it in the replay in our live stream. Yeah.
I think that looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, it does.
So I think.
So yeah, to elaborate.
Yeah.
So, you would say you personally would get it, probably?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get it because I'm just so positively surprised by kind of how Just Cause 3 looked like, and I think it would be worth it. I might not get it right away, but I think I can also recommend it to whoever likes to like kind of play these open world games where you can just do whatever you want. And you can even blow up more stuff than in any other game, I would almost say. Maybe Battlefield can blow up a bit more stuff, but that's a pretty cool feature. And these drops, I mean, they just look cool, where you can drop these kind of weird vehicles out of in the middle of nowhere. I think GTA should have that at some point. That would look pretty cool. So yeah, I think I'm definitely gonna get it. What about you, Steven?
Yeah, it really depends. Like I already said, I'm gonna watch some gameplays, but if it like really still is that cool and I'll see like more cool footage of, I don't know, cool explosions and just the possibilities you have in game, then I'll probably get it as well.
Okay, that sounds awesome. So yeah, I think we're gonna conclude this kind of bit at this point, and we're gonna go to our next topic, which is gonna be Blizzard, if I got it right, with their new policies and kind of for third-party apps.
Oh yeah, about banning those.
Yeah, so yeah, we have the big logo with Steven inserted.
Yeah, true.
Big banner of Blizzard. I mean, you can talk about it. You kind of did some research on the article, and I'll just add to it.
Yeah. Alright, so basically, Blizzard is cracking down on third-party apps in Overwatch specifically at the moment. I don't know if that's like also for other games. Like I know Diablo 3, if you know the game.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
that's also from Blizzard, right?
Yeah.
And they might also crack down on some third-party stuffs because Diablo has them as well. So I don't know, maybe it spreads around. But there are two applications called Visor and Pursuit.gg, and they're really huge apparently in the Overwatch scene, which you can like look at statistics and at what else can you do? Like just stats in general. like KDA, like champion statistics, and like can improve on yourself. And yeah, they're like basically planning on shutting those down because.
Well, do you think they kind of give you an unfair advantage? Because I don't know. Like.
That's the thing. Like, it gives you an advantage, like over opponents that don't use those kind of applications. But it's also a thing. Like, I use it in League of Legends, me personally.
Yeah.
And I would say it's not a huge advantage. I mean, you can see statistics of your enemies and what you can like might make better next time and improve yourself on. But I feel like if you want to improve, it's good to have such tools. And if it's accessible to every user, like, why not?
It's I think what they kind of want to do is kind of get this playing field where they don't really have any kind of different version. I think what Blizzard kind of wants at this point is probably to everyone to have exactly the same version of the game with exactly the same way looking. So there's no advantage. There's nothing that any player could use to kind of be better than other players. Even if it's like an open source tool or everyone can pretty much have it. Because I think they kind of have their own perception of how the game is supposed to look like or be like. And they don't want to have it being influenced by any other third-party apps. And that might be the reason why I think they're getting rid of it.
They argue with the arguments to provide more clarity. Any third-party application that impedes on the competitive integrity in Overwatch is not allowed. Like, that's what they officially like stated.
Oh, okay. So that kind of goes into what I said, I think, at least to some extent. And but I don't know. It's not really a hack, so you can't really complain, I think, that much about it. And what I dislike is about this kind of strategy is you kind of taking away the creativity of other people, which kind of like to add to your game. And I think that also helps to spread and make your game be even cooler by giving the people the opportunity to kind of add their own touch to the game. I think that should be allowed. I personally, as a developer, if I would have a game like this, I would probably not do anything because there's like no real point in I think kind of going there and just stopping kind of the creativity of others to kind of influence the game, kind of boost the game with something that's different that not everyone has in the game.
Yeah, I mean, what the application does, like Visor.gg, I'm on their website, I'm looking at it, what it really does. Like, it tells you your statistic dynamically, like in updates in real time, like deaths per minute or kills per minute, what you should improve on. And what I noticed is that it gives you alerts in game. Yeah. So like little overlays, and it says, oh, like your healers are dying early in team fights. Like 50% of the time. You should like protect them more in a competitive.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And I kind of understand it now, because I thought it's like in League that it just shows you statistics and stuff, but it gives you like active alerts in game. So it says like, oh, you should like play more aggressively now because like their defense is not good at the moment. So
it's kind of like I kind of imagine it being like one of those Fortnite coaches, just like standing behind you and be like, do this, do that.
Basically, yeah.
It's kind of a game coach in that kind of sense.
It's kind of a game coach, automatic and dynamic in your game. I don't think it's really like cheating or anything else. I mean, everyone can have it, but it gives you an advantage. I have to say that at least. Yeah. So I kind of get there for you.
Yeah. I mean, but for me, I wouldn't buy it. I'm okay with it, but I also kind of try to understand why they do it. And usually their argument is that they don't want to have their game changed. That's kind of what they want. I don't even know if Blizzard has like a specific kind of anti-cheat engine, to be honest.
They do. They really have a good one, apparently.
How is it called? I don't even know their names out. I know EA has Punkbuster. All the other games usually have easy anti-cheat. And GTA has also kind of their own one, which I don't know what that guy's name is.
Mm-hmm. I don't really know what's the name of it. I'm like searching it up, but I don't think it has a name.
Probably it's just
anti-cheat system.
It's probably just integrated into the game, because like most of these kind of anti-cheat applications, they're just running as a separate process in the background, and if you close them, it will kill the game automatically. So,
in World of Warcraft, they have a software called Warden, but I don't think it's like overall.
Yeah, World of Warcraft is pretty different. I wonder if they're gonna apply that to the new COD series.
Yeah, they do.
They do. Okay.
Use Blizzard anti-cheat apparently.
Oh, okay. So will it also be that? That probably means it will also be applied for Destiny 2, because that's also. Okay, that's a bit unfortunate.
Blizzard, like takes care of it. Really.
That's a bit unfortunate, because I'm a big fan of Destiny 2. I like playing it, and I'm probably gonna get the Forsaken DLC, which is pretty expensive for the DLC, as we talked about last time. But that's last time. Yeah. So yeah, I think we kind of
pretty much it.
Yeah, we kind of concluded this topic. The thing is, Steven, I need to maybe quickly close and reopen this like presentation, or I can just use the like heads up thing here, because the thing, maybe you can see it on my screen.
Yeah, just use the heads up.
Yeah, this is dead. So yeah, so we have Rainbow Six Siege as our next topic, and this is kind of a fan-made trailer, so it's gonna look a bit, well, I don't know if it's like if you could call it realistic or not. I think that's a pretty cool idea to actually turn this into a movie. It's a bit difficult to do this, and I'm not sure how well Ubisoft is gonna be able to kind of do this, because they kind of failed Assassin's Creed. It was a disliked movie by a lot of people, so I'm not sure how well they. You kind of have to be successful. I don't know if World of Warcraft was even good as a movie. So
I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I also didn't watch it because I didn't really care, to be honest.
What I've heard about the movie, like from friends, it shouldn't be that bad. That's what I heard.
Okay, so I kind of wonder how they're gonna like work with this to make it something that we want to watch. And yeah, so I mean, it looks pretty cool from like this kind of fan-made trailer.
Yeah, I have to say, like, it's pretty accurate. Like, just I don't know if those are like fan-made actors or something, or
I have no clue.
Cut scenes from like
stock footage.
Stock
footage. Imagine.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but like it looks pretty cool.
That actually genuinely looks like Rainbow. But I think this is like fan channels that kind of made
from fan.
They might have collaborated even.
Yeah.
And so cool. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. You also said there's one of the actors from I think it was Black Panther in there. I don't know his name. Is it Michael B. Michael B. Jordan, or
yeah.
Oh, okay. So I think that he could be a pretty cool actor to have in this movie. I think he did very well in Black Panther. I really like that movie.
Yeah, that's true.
The Uganda forever.
Oh god, Wakanda.
Wakanda. Oh fuck, I screwed up. So I think it looks pretty cool. I'm not quite sure what the story is gonna be about, because Rainbow Six, isn't that kind of like a terrorist hunt game in a theory? It's kind of like CS in that kind of. I don't want to say anything wrong, but I
mean, yeah, like Rainbow Six Siege is on the same, not really same, but it's like an extended version of CS. You have different modes and scenarios. You have like bomb and like how's it called? Like where you have to defuse a bomb or plant it.
Yeah.
You know? Like the classical mode. And then you have like also the hostage modes. So I mean, it's kind of like CS, but it's more detailed if I say so. Like better graphics and more strategic, I would almost say.
Yeah, I think so too. But I just can't imagine what they think about as a kind of movie plot.
Yeah, I don't know as well. What I can say as well is that Ryan Reynolds, you know that guy?
Yeah, no, that guy, Deadpool himself.
He's like they're talking to him about a role in the movie. Apparently,
that's. I mean, that is just perfect because I think
Michael B. Jordan is confirmed, but he's like not confirmed yet. But they're talking about it.
Okay, I think if he would be confirmed, he's probably the best actor or one of the best actors to have in this movie, just because of Deadpool, how well that played out as like an action shooting movie.
Yeah.
So I think if they would get Ryan Reynolds to be in this movie, it would definitely be a plus for everyone who wants to watch it, and that would probably get me to watch it if he's in there.
Yeah, I mean it sounds interesting. I don't know how they're going to do it, but yeah, pretty much it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we can also continue to the next topic because we still got 20 minutes. And I think we're only at the 4th topic. I don't know. Maybe, Steven, you can check.
Next one would be the GeForce RTX. So that's the second last topic.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So, GeForce RTX. Fanboys are being annoyed. I am annoyed.
You as well.
I am annoyed, including me. So, apparently NVIDIA decided to give me my graphics card. Give me my graphics card 1 week later than the official, like the original date. And from what I've heard is that it's a bit of a problem that they're kind of facing right now because too many people pre-ordered the 2080 Ti. So everyone who already has the RTX 2080, they already got it. So if they had that pre-ordered, they got it on the 20th as planned. And I, who wants to get a better card, still has to wait for a whole week just because NVIDIA decided they can't launch it yet. And I think that's because they probably can't deal with the shipment requirements that they can't. I don't really know the reason. Maybe it's also drivers that don't really work perfectly with it. But then again, I couldn't really explain it because people are already reviewing it and they already had review drivers to do so. So that's not really a good argument.
Drivers are not a problem. They always plan that.
Yeah. You know what?
In advance, sorry.
I could actually imagine it might have to do with ASUS, and I don't want to blame ASUS, but because they're so a thing is, which I realized is that ASUS, they didn't have a 2080 Ti edition, and suddenly since the date has been moved, they just randomly now have a 2080 Ti ROG edition card out there, and they just didn't have it previously. Like a month ago or even a week ago, they didn't have that, and now suddenly they do. So I can imagine that board partners kind of can't keep up, and that could also be an additional argument to why NVIDIA won't deliver on time to everyone who pre-ordered, and they pretty much got screwed over now, if you could kind of say it. And but the thing is, you will still get the card earlier than people who ordered after you, so you're still not on a bad track in that kind of sense.
Yeah, I get that. And I mean, you're getting it when? Next week?
It should, officially it should arrive on the 27th. That's just a general market release.
Yeah.
And that was already announced by other YouTubers. They said you should get if you've pre-ordered the 2080 Ti, or maybe it was only that they said 2080. But they said it should be between the 20th and it should arrive between the 20th and the 27th. And now I didn't really get anything so far. And the company that ships it, so the retailer, which everyone who lives in Switzerland knows is Digitech, I've talked to them, so I've written to them because I was kind of annoyed about this. And they said whoever orders first obviously gets the card first, but unfortunately they have zero stuff in their how do you call that, in their storage probably, where they put their whole shipments and orderings, and they also
have capacity, you mean?
Yes, they don't, not capacity, just their storage place. I don't know how you call that thing, they don't have any of the RTX 2080 Ti series, in their storage. So
in stock.
In stock, exactly.
Yeah.
So they don't have that laying around, and everyone who ordered the 2080 Ti can wait. So that's for that. I wanted to kind of ask Steven like what his opinion is with the new cards, because he has a 1080 Ti, and he has the Asus Strix edition. I think I even have the OCE one.
Yeah.
So
the
if you wouldn't have bought that, and you would be kind of in the same position as now, would you go for the cheaper 1080 Ti, or would you just also buy this card when? And let's say this card is already out.
So you're assuming this card is already out, and
yes.
I have like, just it would make the same difference if I order like the 1080 Ti or 2080 Ti. I would receive it at the same time.
Yes. So there's no order difference. It's pretty much down to which one you're gonna buy.
All right. Well, the prices speak for itself. I mean, the Asus RTX 2080 Ti. How much is it?
That's the most expensive one you chose.
Yeah, but just to make it like the same, because I have the Asus GTX 1080 Ti.
Yeah.
Right. And the high-end one with 11 gigs, right?
Yeah.
And I think the 2080 Ti, the highest one, is like 1.5K.
Yes, that's the Asus one. That's 1. Just for reference for everyone, we're using Swiss francs, so just so
true.
Just so everyone knows, it's 1,500 Swiss francs, which is about $1,500 plus minus.
Yeah. And the 1080 Ti should be less than 1,000 if I'm correct. Like when I bought it.
Yes. Now I think it's not now. How much did you have to pay for it, if I may ask?
It was about 900 or something.
Yeah, that's still. I mean, the problem is for me with the 1080 Ti, if this both would be out now, and we're assuming that it has to be under 700 for me to make it a good card, because it's not worth 900 francs, in my opinion.
I mean, all graphics cards aren't, like, in my opinion, worth the money they're at right now, because like GeForce, NVIDIA has like this position right now of just like setting their price higher and higher to see how much customers are willing to pay.
Well, they kind of have market dominance, so there's nothing really that you can do against them.
Yeah, which kind of sucks, but I personally would still go for the GTX 1080 Ti, which you might find surprising. But I don't think that I'll need the 2080. Okay, of course. I built a baller PC, right? And the 2080 wasn't out yet, and I thought like to myself, okay, let's just buy the 1080 Ti. Actually.
Built it.
Yeah, I mean, kinda, yeah.
Kind of built it.
Kinda, 50%, let's say it like that.
50%. Okay, good. Yeah. a bit still overestimated, but okay, I'll give you that one.
Yeah, you'll give me that one. Okay, that's good. So I would still go for the 1080 Ti because the 2080 Ti doesn't make that much difference. I mean, how much? 30%?
35, I think, around.
35%. And I feel like
10 FPS, so it's an average of like 10, 20 FPS.
Each game, 10 FPS or something. And I don't think that deserves 500 francs more.
That's true.
Like, it's more than 500. Like
that's true, but aren't you on the ray tracing hype train? Aren't you interested in that?
I mean, I am, but if like the price of a graphics card goes over 1,200, I'm just not willing to pay it. Me personally. I mean, I saw it with the Titan as well. Yeah. It's just a graphics card that I would never buy.
Oh, okay.
It's just too high.
That's a bit different with me. I would still go for the Titan. I would just justify it by being an editor. So I'd just be like, nope.
I mean,
I can do this.
That's what you also always say to yourself. But then, you never use the 100% of the capability of the graphics card.
Yeah, probably. But you know, my problem is, you kind of do need it's a fact. You kind of do need the best graphics card in like a series. So I would also need a 1080 Ti to actually be able to record, because otherwise, if I run it with my 770, and that's just a stupid example, I can't record because my recordings are literally 50 frames per second. My game runs at 60, but my recordings are 15. So that's for that. So I think it does kind of justify it to some extent. I mean, I probably still wouldn't need a 2080 Ti to just do editing and recording live streams or...
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessary, but if you really want the highest resolutions and the highest, like, the lowest waiting times and just, like, that you can stream or record in high definition without any problems, I would say go for the best graphics card of the series, of course, but it's not necessary.
Yeah, I also think you should definitely not... If you're with the 10 series, don't bother, don't even consider buying this graphics card. You would, I don't want to offend you, but you're stupid if you want to buy this, because you'll just make a huge loss. Steven, what the hell are you doing?
Upgrading from 1080 to 2080?
What are you doing? I can literally hear you like smashing the bottle on the table. I don't know.
Oh no, that's my credit card. Sorry. I'm paying for the 2080.
He's considering.
No.
His card is saying no, but he's considering.
You mean upgrading from the 1080 Ti to the 2080?
Yeah.
He said, it's stupid. Yeah, which I can agree on.
It's absolutely you're ridiculous. I mean, you can do that if you don't care about anyone's opinion, but everyone will tell you you're stupid for doing that.
Yeah, it's just true. I mean,
it's just true. It's a fact.
It's a fact. Like, you would just make a huge loss, and I mean, the 1080 Ti from now on will probably be like on the top notch for years still.
Yeah.
I mean, you will play definitely each game on Ultra for, I would say, 1.5 years.
Yeah, probably
max, but 1.5 years.
Well, yeah, at least I think you could even get 2 depending on what the graphics engine. Yeah. What I kind of think is that apparently, if you have the 980 Ti, this is already justified. Yeah, you had that. So this is already justified apparently. Buying this, it's already okay. So anyone who actually has 980 could consider buying this if they really want a new graphics card that is future proof and gives you, I think, at least 3 years. So
I mean, 2080 Ti, you'll be good to go for at least 3 years, I would say. Yeah, definitely.
That's what I hope, at least. I don't want to spend this much money every 2 years or 1 year.
That's also the type of thing, like, you can like see it's the exactly same with phones as well. I mean, I'm the type of guy who buys every year a new phone, which is completely stupid, will people say. But I mean, if you look, I'm not an Apple fanboy, of course, but if you look at Apple people, they'll do the same. You can see it's every year the new model. I mean,
it's kind of
the XS Max doesn't give you much, but it's the same exact thing. You see it with
I'm terribly annoyed with the names, just to be honest. I find them ridiculous.
Yeah, they are. I can agree with that.
I just kind of imagine like a monkey. They just let a monkey draw on a piece of paper, and it wrote XS Max, or just wrote an S.
Yeah, it's like my opinion, is just trolling at this point, to be honest.
It kind of reminds me of Trump when he like puts up that white piece of paper.
Oh god.
And they were just XS Max. So yeah, I think we can continue to the next topic.
Yeah, that's true. RTX 2080 delayed.
We'll see if I can talk about it next weekend. I hope so.
Yeah, if you have it by then.
Yeah, if. So yeah, Twitch being blocked in China. That's interesting.
So that's an interesting topic. Of course, Twitch was accessible in China until now. It is now blocked, and yeah, so basically what happened is exactly that Twitch.tv, like the major streaming site, got shut down in China, which means it's completely not accessible. And I think it like hit number 3, like on the most visited websites in China for a while.
Yeah, I think it was very popular.
Like, it was really, really popular because like China is insanely huge, and their esports scene as well is insanely huge, and they watch like esports tournaments and stuff on there. And yeah, people analyzed that and got really huge, and I guess like the governments decided to shut it down. Then.
Yeah, but do you think it's kind of a, is it like a, because China has like very strict policies on what people can look at and what people can't look at, and I think VPN is very, very, very popular in China, probably for these reasons.
Probably like necessary there. Yeah.
I could actually, you know, it actually could be the case that I'll also have to use a VPN when I'm in Asia.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's it might be because even Google or Apple, they have trouble reaching the Chinese market. And I think that's kind of, it has to do with the fact that there's a lot of Chinese companies already in a certain kind of branch. And the government kind of, I think the government wants to give them kind of an in-country advantage. So I think banning Twitch, maybe there's like other services. I have no clue about Chinese services for streaming. Or providers. I mean, Twitch is obviously the biggest, one of the biggest next to, I would say next to YouTube, it's the biggest provider of like streaming videos.
Yeah, like I can agree on this, and especially like China as well. It's a hard country. It's really complicated, like cause there, how do you call it? Brands and stuff have it not easy in China. Exactly, like especially international companies.
Yeah.
Of course, they have a huge profit potential in China, but they just can't use it because in China you don't know copyright, you don't know anything. Everyone can copy brands and stuff. I mean, if you go over there and look at brands, Adidas, Nike, etc., all copied like in official stores, and they have no problem selling it there. It's not illegal or anything. And the government is, of course, censoring, and Twitch, as it is, used by every country there is. I mean, there's Swiss streamers, there are US streamers, UK, etc., etc. And I feel like the government wants to censor that. Mm-hmm. Like banning the Western stuff on the platform, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I could, you know, I don't want to connect it to any political agenda, but I could imagine it might have to do with maybe that China is kind of communist. Maybe it has to do with that. I'm not sure.
I don't know if you heard about it, but Google had always a problem.
Yeah.
You know? Always a problem in like integrating in China. They always used like a service called Weibo or something to search.
They have this. They have that. China is kind of like, I kind of have a feeling China is the world 2.0, just in like a different version of the world.
Yeah. They have everything the same, just like the Chinese company just copied it. Basically.
That's what it is. Pretty much.
What they did is Google partnered up with the government, tying up, and many Google employees actually left because of that controversy. Mm-hmm. And they stayed out of China for like 8 years so far, and they didn't do anything there. But now they're getting into it and working with the government, and they're working on a censored Google, basically.
Yeah, I've heard of that. That they have a special Google just developed for the Chinese government. Yeah,
and there were like terms out. I don't know if they're true, but something got leaked or.
No, okay.
I don't know what it is, but they're like terms like what do you call it? Human rights, I think. Yeah, human rights, and that was like censored.
Oh god.
And was like on a blacklist. So I guess it kind of has to do with the political situation of China. Mm-hmm. That's my opinion.
I can add something that is indirectly relevant to, because it's about Amazon and also China. I don't know, you probably have heard of this, I think. That Amazon had to throw out a lot of people or kick out people from their company in China because they were selling reviewers' names, access to like certain parts of the website to companies that would sell on Amazon, and so they could contact them and influence obviously how their products are represented on Amazon. And they had to kick out a bunch of employees there that were just selling information to third-party companies.
Yeah, I've heard something about that as well. Yeah.
So that was kind of, I thought there's some sketchy stuff going on already there. And it kind of makes sense because Amazon ships a lot of their stuff from China, or at least does it over like another path and like storage units, as I was kind of in stocks and stuff. So yeah, I find it kind of sad because I think, yeah, as you said, China has a lot of live stream kind of worthy events that with their own teams and stuff.
It's huge, the gaming scene in China, huge.
Yeah.
I mean, like compared to this, like other countries like Switzerland or US, I think they have the highest percentage of people that are actually playing video games and stuff.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think pretty much everyone plays video games there. It's kind of unanimous.
Even if it's just mobile games, but like it's huge, like the scene there. And yeah, I find it sad as well because like companies like Twitch that connect people and gaming companies in general, like it's sad that they can't integrate there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Speaking of Twitch and YouTube, obviously, I don't know if everyone knows this, but our live streams are both on Twitch and YouTube simultaneously. Maybe YouTube is a bit later, maybe 30 seconds delay. So you can decide where you want to watch it, which platform suits you the most. And you can also rewatch the live stream once we're finished streaming it. So you can just go out and check it out there. Twitch will also have it up there for a little while. I haven't configured it to keep the videos. I don't know how to do that. So if anyone has any recommendations in the future, just hit us up on Discord. The links should be in the description for the live streams. And I think we can kind of conclude this live stream of Sunday the 23rd. And yeah, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching our live streams. Yeah, if there's anything you can recommend for the next live stream, I think we did quite a lot of stuff compared to the last live stream. It looks a lot better now. Yeah, so yeah, write us, and thank you for watching. See you in next week, hopefully. And yeah, goodbye.
See ya at fams.